Welcome guys to another episode on the Extra Mile. My name is Alex and I thought today we would do another comparison episode. I initially wanted to do an episode between Assetto Corsa, Project Cars 2 and RaceRoom today. And I was almost sure that we have this car, the BMW 1M or M1 Procar in Assetto Corsa as well, but I was mistaken, so we will do this comparison between Project Cars 2 and RaceRoom only. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how this compares. I'm really curious to see how this car sounds in RaceRoom. I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, as usual, we will do some laps here in Project Cars 2 first, then we will do some laps in RaceRoom. And then we will cut the two cars side by side and see how their lap time compares. As always with the race cars, it's a little bit tricky to compare them directly because we do have different setups, but I will try to recreate the setup here in Project Cars 2 in RaceRoom, at least when it comes to the basic aero settings and all that stuff. I'm using the stable setup here in Project Cars 2 and the soft slick tires. And yeah, so let's fire her up. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, I like that. All right. Let's take it easy at first. First impressions are awesome and kind of surprising. The car is extremely stable to drive. Not much movement at the limit at all. Locked up under braking there a little bit. Have to be careful about that. Yeah, as I said, the car is extremely stable. No understeer, no oversteer. It's just on rails. Very good brakes. Great turn in. This drives about as well as it looks. Oh yes, tons of mechanical grip. Get back on it. So this was pretty cool and a little bit unexpected actually. This is a mid-engine race car from the 80s. I would have expected it to be more tricky to drive, to be a bit more of a handful at the limit, but contrary to my expectations, this was not the case. It was extremely stable, extremely reassuring in every way. Under braking, mid-corner, it was just extremely stable, forgiving even, you could actually say. Really interesting, really cool. So now let's see how the car in RaceRoom compares, and afterwards we will check out the side-by-side comparison. Alright, here we are sitting in the same car in RaceRoom, and at first glance everything looks familiar, everything looks more or less the same. So let's listen to it Lovely startup sound. All right. That sounds pretty damn good. Let's take it easy here first. Oh yeah, that sounds good. So, to summarize, the car in Project Cars 2 was very stable. Ooh, a little bit of a butt wiggle there. The car in Project Cars 2 had tons of grip and was overall relatively easy to drive. And so far it's pretty much the same, to be honest. Tons of grip, very stable at the limit. Also ref to 9,500 RPM here. Sounds are very similar as well. It's hard to pick a winner. Both sound really, really good. Really interesting. So in terms of how the cars drive, there's virtually no difference at all. This car and the car in Project Cars 2 are pretty much exactly the same in terms of the handling, which is a result that is not surprising on the one hand, because, well, they are the same car, but as I said in other videos, more often than not there are differences between two simulations, even when you're driving the same car, because none of the simulations are perfect yet. But the better they get, the more realistic they get, the closer their results are. And that's a pretty cool thing. Force feedback is also very good, very detailed. I still prefer the one in Project Cars 2, but the difference is really very small, and I probably could adjust the force feedback here in RaceRoom further. Okay, I think it's time to get a fast lap in here and see how those two cars compare. Let's check out the split screen.